can't treat you like my ace. I got way too many problems to be worried. I'm straight. Me and Craig had to watch for the Jakes. On the road, this crazy. I get 80 a show. Say my money, stack it up. It look like I'm foreign cars driving fast. I never done this.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. On tap, we've got what should be a fairly intriguing matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. After 2 weeks on the road, they're finally ready for the home opener in Houston.
All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Today, it's a good matchup in the AFC South between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. It's an Indian summer afternoon. Perfect conditions for football, and off we go on EA Sports. This one taken from the 7. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So on the big tight end, holding.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's a constant struggle and a constant fight to learn how to do it without holding.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. A shotgun snap for Watson. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Faking the give. Now Watson. Going deep for Hopkins. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. He's coming off a 3-interception performance last week, so certainly not how we wanted to start here.
Not at all, but this is a quarterback gets tested. This is what we find.
Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. And he'll be down deep into Houston territory. A big 3rd down play there for the Jags. 48 yards. Charles, you talk so much about quick change plays. There's one right there. You get the turnover, and boom, hit them with a big one.
And defenses plan for this all the time. They work on it in practice. But in the middle of the game, when that quick change takes place, oftentimes guys aren't as focused as they need to be.
He'll look to throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. Those INTs all sting, but you throw one in the red zone, I think especially as a rookie, maybe it stings a little bit more.
I think what you're saying is they don't all count the same, do they? Right? Interceptions in the red zone that you've given up points now, those are precious. So you have to learn from those and in a hurry.
And now the throw going to Fuller, and he's got it. And he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Here's Watson. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
And the Jags get to him as down he goes. Josh Allen with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
How about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
Good work after the catch. Going to net them 23 and a 1st. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. These are his numbers from last week's contest. And Charles, how do you think he ran the football?
I thought he definitely had his moments. I did think that they could have utilized him a little bit better, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him to see how they're going to use him this week.
Hey, 2.
2nd and 2. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon.
And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. 12 more yards there and another 1st down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Let's go, tight end. Let's go.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. I was waiting for them to get there first because the momentum they carry from last week, unbelievable. They had a snowman, 8 sacks.
You were surprised that it took this long, and this isn't that long, truthfully. But here's the thing. If you've seen that on tape, your offensive line is going to have to ask for help. Tight end has to stay in.
And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. And yes, they want the points, so they will decline the penalty, no question there.
You don't think they spent a couple seconds mulling over what the penalty would do?
I don't even know why they asked the sideline.
Not at all. When you put the ball in the end zone on a takeaway, take the points and keep moving.
And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. On the NFL scoreboard, an update from Los Angeles. It's the Rams that have grabbed the early lead. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. This is taken at the 3. On marker down, he does get it up past the 25. Will it hold? Let's see.
Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And to give this time to the tailback. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5.
I can't believe they even let you play.
Out of the gun, Watson completes this to Waring. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
Here we go. Here we go. 43-yard line. Line up, go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack.
That's how we do it.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Call it a 3-yard gain, but they'll be forced into a 3rd and 15 coming up.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second.
Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now, it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down. Even though he's a 4th rounder, I think he might have a chance to play and prove that, hey, I could have been taken higher in that draft.
And we've seen so many times now, guys who go lower in the draft, undrafted free agents that become big-time players, Pro Bowl players. So you never know. 4th-round pick has a chance to be a really good player.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get anyone as well. They stuck to their draft philosophy, got the best players they could at the time they were drafting, and inserted them into their lineup.
And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down.
I apologize in advance, partner, but the beef eaters on the interior of this D-line, you just know they were licking their chops on 3rd and short. And yes, they were rewarded with a tasty dish, stuffing that one short of a first down.
And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory. That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. And he'll give it here to his running back. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. That defense just did not budge, and now your punter. Well, this is why you pay him.
It is. It's exactly why you pay him. But what he's got to be thinking about are a couple of things. Number 1, don't step back. Could be a safety. Number 2, cut down your time on your mechanics. If you're a 2-step punter, it needs to be 1 step and get rid of the football.
There he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. He's got the lead here in the 2nd quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, does that interception, even though you're playing while your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. It was Justin Houston, the native of Statesboro, Georgia, with a sack.
But that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast and a big sack. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. 2nd and 15. Open man completes it to Butler. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That one good for 26 and a 1st down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Right there in the middle, 55, General West.
Now a handoff here to his running back. He's got the 1st down inside the 10 and all the way down to the 5. Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
And that's what he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
The line of scrimmage, once again, the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll take this one in for a Jags touchdown. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead. This time, the extra point up and good.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
DeAndre Hopkins and the rest of the offense heading back onto the field. Hasn't had his best day to this point here in the 2nd quarter, and they're losing. You got to think, though, that also means that maybe the defense doing a good job on him. There's 2 sides to that coin.
I would agree, so you have to give them credit, but that means you've got to find a way to beat that defense and make sure one of your top playmakers touches the football and has an impact on the game. Change formations, change where he lines up, put him in motion, anything possible to shake him free.
Maybe that greater impact comes here on this drive. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's Watson. It's wearing the tight end with it. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. And he'll give it here to his running back.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Now it's Watson, a bootleg. A fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off? His biorhythms?
And now on the pitch, the ball's loose. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession.
Ready. Check 55 to Mike. We got to get the ball. Do you get the ball?
Here's a 2nd and 7. And that is incomplete. DJ Chark, the intended target. And now it's 3rd down. You and I watched film yesterday, and you told me to watch his feet. For whatever reason, his footwork just looked off on that throw.
And you always love it when the next defensive back talks quarterback mechanics, right?
Well, but you're good at it.
Well, I try. All right, I don't know how good I am, but it doesn't take much to tell. His mechanics are off a little bit, exactly what you described. Footwork, that led to the incompletion.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
It's not a surprise when you read scouting reports and watch tape because you know he's a heck of a player. But he is so difficult to get down in the open field. They just want to get him the ball and let him do his thing.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
2nd down and inches. Escaping the pressure right. And he's going to keep it here. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs. We've seen the pressure get to him several times in this game. There, though, we see him escape it.
And we've seen this rookie video before as well. That type of pressure, oftentimes, what do you resort to? Your legs, try and escape. What you hope is that this doesn't become habit for him, that he learns how to handle the pressure, still keep his eyes downfield, and make some throws.
And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Cook. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. J.J. Watt in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on, how about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
Here's 2nd and 8. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete. Bradley Roby there defensively. Back-to-back great plays defensively. You get the sack on 1st and goal. A great job in coverage there. All of a sudden, they're looking at 3rd and goal from further back than when they started.
And the really good play callers look ahead and down and distance sequence. Now he's got to backtrack a little bit and go maybe off his play sheet to try and dial something up here.
They'll set up a throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
Deshaun Watson of the Texans offense trot back out there. He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the second quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out. And instead of it going to the opponents, get it to his own receivers and find the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 picks and no touchdown passes yet either. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing again is Watson. This one brought in by the 6'5" tight end Waring. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. From the gun, here's Watson. Completes it out left to Waring. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. Now the Jags will use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. 47 yards on the punt that time, just 1 yard on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. We're in the second quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive maybe. And an anxious moment or 2 there, but they do get him down. 10 yards there, good enough for a Jags first down. Back to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Jaguars now will use the last of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. 2nd and 14. Taking a shot for Samuel. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Deebo Samuel was the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down. But the passing game right now for them, not overly impressive. Last week he hit on right at 50%. This week he's under 50%.
And it's not just on him. Protection, a few breakdowns along the way. That's made him get off the spot. Receivers not getting their way open downfield. The coverage has been awfully tight. They've got to all get together and find ways to make this passing game get in gear.
And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. How about 25 yards on 3rd down? They'll take on. So here are the Jaguars to take over on offense. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. J.J. Watt in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go to the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
They'll look to throw. And the pressure gets to him again. The D-tackle Sheldon Richardson came barreling in for the sack.
Now that's the way to start the second half. Back-to-back sacks. Whatever the halftime speech was, I hope they recorded it.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Now back to throw. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now, that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Up at the 29 now, they'll head to the line, 2nd and a yard. Back to throw, Watson. And this is going to be incomplete.
I know that interception was dropped, and it would have been their 3rd of the game, and I will guarantee you, in the huddle, on the bench, all the defensive guys have been talking about is, we've got this guy right where we want him. Who's going to get the next one? It almost becomes a...
DeAndre Hopkins, he's all alone. The 30, 10, touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as they are able to cut into that lead. That's the score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
A shotgun snap for Watson. And this is going to be caught. So they do get it. And the 2 points, now they're back down to a 1-score deficit. And that almost makes it a brand-new ballgame. Now it's a 1-score affair after they get the 2.
And you have to know they were holding their breath on the 2-point play because they had to have it to get it within the range that you just talked about. Dialed up their 2-point play. It worked. Now they're feeling like they've got a shot at this one.
And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession, and that was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. That's complete to Butler. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. A 14-yard first down pickup for the Jaguars.
Well, they obviously red man covers their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that, Brooke?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield, then he curls back inside for the completion.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. They'll get this to his tight end. It's Jonnu Smith. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 36.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
This quarterback now just 8 of 16 thus far, 50%, but it's 1st and 10. They'll drop the throw. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Give him 4 yards there on the first down keeper. Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back.
Set, ready? 18 Gators. Come on. You better break it. Go.
Second and long. Open man, Butler complete. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for third down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they had planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
They'll run it now out of the gun. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up fourth down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
So chalk that down as an 8-play drive, capture the field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say, they were moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
Out comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace. Maybe.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. That's number 4, sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on third down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. Give him 8 on the play, and that's going to make it fourth down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage, and again, that second score here in the third quarter. Here's a throw, complete right side to start things out. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. They'll run it now out of the gun. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
And this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Down, 30 base. Hey, Alpha. Mike 41, Mike 41.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. This is Butler making the catch. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. J.J. Watt racking up sack number 12 for him on the year. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we've played 3 quarters. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. First and second down were a disaster. Both went backwards. Now it's 3rd and 18. They need something big.
You got three. Three down. He's coming. We got that.
He'll look to throw. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at the 20. Out of the gun, Watson. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24.
At the 24-yard line.
Watson. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long.
Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
And good hustle here as this is going to be blown dead right at the 9-yard line. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
And he'll give it here to his running back. And a short pickup here as he'll get across the 10 to the 11-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Let's go. Squeeze.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. Just a couple on the ground there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and about 6. 2 yards on the first down carry, and then followed up by 2 yards on the second down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Now they're going to need 6 on 3rd down to keep the drive going. That one good for 24 yards.
Good work, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, probably the only thing he did wrong there was go out of bounds, nursing this 4th quarter lead. You want to stay in, eat the clock.
Yeah, you got to love the effort, the catch, the extra yardage, but you got to know the situation. Stay in bounds, young man.
Eluding the pressure right. On the run, he'll let this go deeper. And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. An explosive 38-yard pickup. Well, make that now 2 completions for him on this drive, and these aren't ordinary completions. They're big ones.
Yeah, these are the types that make a secondary talk to each other, and not in a good way. Oftentimes pointing fingers. Hey, who's got him? Someone cover it. That type of indecision can open up to even more big plays.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Add this game to the last one, and they move the ball over 50 yards in 2 plays.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason.
And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. J.J. Watt, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Hakeem Butler there, but now it's 3rd and goal.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one.
Check 41. And it's getting in home. Sponge.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line. Well, this has been a pretty sizable drive. They've had some success. Finally, the defensive coordinator found some success of his own.
I think he just simply said enough of that. Okay, they've moved the ball well. We need to force the issue from our end, and that's exactly what he did.
So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt. Obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by the linebacker, Miles Jack. So now he's equaled his interception total from a week ago. Remember, Charles, he had 3 last week.
And you know, all week long he vowed to take that number down. Told the guys on the team, don't worry, things are going to pick up. I've got this. But he is in a major league rut right now. Let's see if his teammates can pick him up along the way.
You're right. He talked about being cool, calm, collective, rebounding. Not rebounding right here. That one a pickup of 15 for Jacksonville.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Right back to him on 1st down. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13. 2nd and 13. Open man completes it to Butler. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
And now a fumble. The ball's out, and the Texans scoop it. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, 2-score game, so hold on here, not done in the 4th. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Here's Watson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Josh Allen able to record his 5th sack of the season.
I remember throughout my career hearing defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. Following the sack, it's now 3rd and long for Watson and the Texans. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. 3rd and long, it's Watson. Completes this to Waring. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 8th catch for him now. He's been a big factor. And it's a 1st down.
And the game just...
I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. Touchdown, Houston. Kahale Waring. His first touchdown here of the new campaign as his guys are back within a single score. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a one-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high-percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
And the Jaguars are going to cover this one up. A tough one there. They certainly wanted that when they needed it, but they didn't absolutely have to get it. They still do have 3 timeouts.
You're exactly right. They had to attempt it. But even though they didn't get it, as you noted, with 3 timeouts, if they can get these stops on defense, all hope is not lost.
The Jaguars offense now heads back onto the field. And this game not quite over yet. And we'll likely see them take all 3 timeouts defensively, so they can't just kneel this. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Texans scoop it. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
And this is where you need the quarterback to morph into being a running back. The ball can't be away from his body. It can't be loose. It can't be held like he's going to throw it. Tuck it away. Take care of it because he's going to run through a lot of traffic.
And if he doesn't take care of it, we're going to see less design runs like that. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
They'll run it now out of the gun. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. He'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Jaguars are going to take possession here on the turnover on downs. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. And an alley to run. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. That one looks like he'll throw here. He's going to float this one deep right side. That's caught inside the 20. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play. So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. Down to a knee for the Jags. Victory seemingly in hand. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout, as it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2. And they take a knee. And they cannot do anything to stop the clock defensively. 3 straight wins to start the campaign now.
And this is where a team, privately, within the confines of their own room, their meeting rooms, the locker room, they start to think to themselves, we're pretty good. We should be a playoff team.
So this will be a win for Jacksonville, and they were really helped by their defense, forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw in this one, today's defense. And what I mean by that is in the old days, pitching shutouts was big time. That was paramount. But the big thing was holding people down, holding down their yardage, right? Don't let them throw the ball through the air and gain a lot of... But now, it's about taking the ball away. Taking away possessions, getting the ball back for their offense. They had 3 takeaways in this one, and it led them to victory.
How many of y'all came to win?